Hello everyone and welcome back to 7 Days to Die and a new episode of Math Modding. I'm Mavki, and in this episode I'm going to show you how you can mod in the drawbridge I did in an earlier episode. I'm also going to do a twist on it to make a hidden door, and I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So yeah, let's just grab the XML files and oh, a little bit inception going on there. Config. So if you go to your program files, Steam folder, Steam apps, common files, 7 Days to Die data, there should be a config folder over there. I renamed mine to stock so I know that it's a blank page because my game is running on a modded one. The reason why I'm not modding in the actual game XML right now is because as soon as I save something I have to restart the game, and the loading takes forever while I'm recording, and I don't want to have you sit there and wait for me to load up a game every 5 seconds. So I have the game running in the background as you just saw, and the mod I'm going to show you is already in there. So once we've completed the XML, we'll go to 7 days to yeah, see what we did. Now what I'm going to show you, the drawbridge and the hidden doorway is all modded into the blocks XML. There's no different program or folder or XML file needed. So we just open up the blocks file by pressing edit. I don't have a fancy XML editor. Mine is just opening up in Notepad. And yeah, it just basically looks like a plain text file. Every block starts with an ID. I'm just going through the basics in case you haven't seen it yet. Every block starts with an ID number and the name for that ID block, and the quotation with the slash tells you that the block is ending here, and everything in between says something about the block itself. So this block is made out of the material grass. The material tells you what the hardness is, structural integrity, which you can mod in the materials XML. The shape, this is what it looks like. So this is a diamond block. Mesh, same thing. Texture, this is the color it has. By altering these numbers you can switch textures. Not on every block, but on most common blocks you can. This is what happens if you destroy it. So if this block gets destroyed, it will turn into fertile dirt. How much will it drop, or when will it drop, and what does it look like on the map? So this is just the basics. Now onto the XML for the drawbridge. For this example I'm just going to use old wood, and the first one that's in the list that it's easily to find is bridge old wood. So what I'm going to do is, since I'm just going to edit a block, I'm going to copy this block in its entirety. So from the start of this quotation with the block ID to the block ending, I'm just going to copy paste it. So Control C, move up to the end of the list, Control End, and there's a space here between this block ending and the actual ending of the XML file that has an S behind it. So yeah, never paste anything over here below this because it won't be recognized. So we're just gonna make some space. You don't need that extra space, but it's just better for you guys to see. I'm just gonna paste in this block over here. So now we made an exact copy of the bridge old wood. And if you don't change the ID, the game will see two blocks with this identical name and the identical block ID, and it will just choose one of the two it's going to load. So since we want this block to be usable, we have to give it a unique ID number. Now as you can see, all the blocks are numbered subsequently. Hard word. So yeah, basically we'll just +1 on the last in the list. So this is going to be 1434, and we're gonna have to rename it. This one I'm just gonna call test to see what happens. And yeah, so what we have now is a new block, new number, new name, but with all the properties of bridge old wood. So if I was to go into the game and spawn in this block with the cheat menu, for instance, since we don't have a recipe for it yet, it would just be a bridge old wood block with a new name. Since there's no use for that, I'm just gonna go further, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call this the bridge start. So this one is this is the block that we're going to use to spawn the bridge out of. I don't mind it being the material for bridge old wood, but if I don't change anything to this, the spawn menu won't have an icon for it. So what I have to do now is I'm going to a different file and just copy something, and that's this property line. I'll make some space for you guys to read it. What this does is it tells the game that the block that's called bridge start looks like in the menu like a bridge old wood block. So when I go to the cheat menu or tool belt or whatever, this block will be the same picture as a bridge old wood. I can change that to a reinforced scrap iron spike if I like. I can change this to every existing block that's already in. It just needs to have a picture. I can change the color on the icon as well, so I can turn it yellow or blue just by putting in custom color key. Let's see if I've got that in this file. No, I don't. But yeah, that's for a later time. So what we have now is a new bridge start block. That's what it's called. It will look like a bridge old wood in the menu, and it will look like bridge old wood in game. Now what I need to do is alter this. Well, not specifically this block, but I need to copy it again because I want the bridge to look like bridge old wood as well. And I'm just gonna call this the bridge itself. So this is gonna be bridge 1435. It's the next number. This one looks like bridge old wood in the map as well, or in the menu as well. It still is bridge old wood, and I don't want to mess with that. Well, I can, but I don't need to. Now what we need to add it to this block to turn it into an actual bridge, because we're going to replace this block with that, is an upgrade path. So just one block above us is the actual upgrade path we're going to need. So in between this and the ending of the block, I'm going to paste the bridge start will upgrade to block. And which block is that going to be? That's the exact name that we put in there. So this block is going to upgrade into the bridge itself. This tells you what item is needed to upgrade it. For instance, if you're upgrading a wooden frame to old wood, you need planks. So in that block on the item line would be, it would say planks. Now in the game I'm going to show you, I put in a remote there, but that's for a later time. So I'm just going to leave this as scrap iron. This basically tells the game if you're using a tool that can use scrap iron to upgrade stuff like a hammer or a nail gun or whatever, it will use up 4 items to upgrade it, and you need to hit it 4 times to actually achieve the upgrade. Now because I don't want to hit it 4 times just to create a bridge sorry, I'm just gonna set this to 1. So this means if you hit the bridge start 1 time with 4 pieces of scrap iron, it will turn into a bridge. Now I don't want to lose my my stuff when I upgrade this, because I'm just turning it into a bridge and nothing else. I'm gonna set this to 0. This basically now means I need to hit the bridge start once with 0 pieces of scrap iron, but with a tool that can upgrade with scrap iron. But that's done. We now have a bridge start. So the bridge start will upgrade to the bridge, and once we put that block down and hit it with a nail gun or whatever, the bridge itself will spawn in its place. Now because the bridge looks exactly the same like this block, we haven't changed anything yet, that's not going to do much. Now because all we need to do now is turn this into a longer block, I'm going to the hatch. You might ask why the hatch, but it'll be clear soon enough. This is the wooden hatch, and there's a text over here. This is just a text. If it's got these marks, it means it's not actually the code is not actually read by the game. And it says we need to overwrite the default door size of 2 blocks high. So this means that the code on this line alters the dimensions of a block. It pretty much says so as well. This is a multi-block dimension. And the hatches turn into a 1, 1, 1 block. That means X, Y, Z, 1 to the left, 1 up, and 1 in depth. Since we don't need a hatch, but we do need this property, I'm just going to copy this line. Going back down again, and go to the bridge. Now, I want this bridge not to be a 1 by 1 block, because that's what it always is. I want this to be 4 long. So I'm just gonna put in 4 over here. Now what this means is 1 to the left, 1 up, and 4 in depth. So if I place the block, it will extend itself 4 blocks long. Now one more important part, and I'm gonna search for that in the XML as well, is it needs to be towards the placer. This says the place of the block. Once I place it, the rotation of the block will be either towards me, inverted, so away from me. But I want the block to be towards me because I set the settings for the multi-block to go in depth. If I don't place it towards me, it might go to the left, or it might just spawn underneath me, and I don't want that. So this block, if I place, oh no, the bridge start, if I want to place it, it has to be towards me, and then this 4 blocks will come out of the back of it, and that's basically it. Well, not yet, because we told the bridge start to turn into the bridge, but the bridge also needs to come back to the bridge start. So I'm going to copy this upgrade path once again, and I'm just going to reverse it. So the bridge will upgrade to the bridge start with 0 scrap iron by 1 hit. Now usually you save this and you go to your game and check if everything worked. My game is already open because I've got it in. I use some slightly different colors, and 2 seconds. I'm sorry, really dry air here. So I'm just gonna type in bridge start. Here's the bridge start. I use blue metal instead of the old wood. I'm just gonna place it. So I'm gonna place this here. Like I said, mine is set to use a remote. Normally, in your case, if you use the scrap iron 0, you'll just use a hammer or whatever. But if I just right-click it once, it turns into the bridge. Now we used old wood, so this block would be old wood, and we used old wood on the bridge itself as well. I used plating, but in your case, 1 block would just extend out to 4 blocks on a normal block height. So it would be the normal, the normal old wood block. And that's basically it. That's the drawbridge. Now one thing I need to add, I set this to 4, and that has a purpose. I tried it out with 10, and every block after this one, so this and further, if I place it off the ground, it would just snap to the surface below it. So this one would go to the floor, but this one, if it was one to the right, it would be on top of the cactus. The next one would be on the floor again. But 4 seems to be the safest length. And yeah, that's the bridge, old wood, or the bridge. I made a slight adjustment to this, so it had an application in a different way as well, because a block has 3 dimensions, namely the vertical one, the side one, and the depth one. Now we already did it in depth, that's this one, but I want to show you the other 2 as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to build a little wall here, and I'm going to leave a gap, and that has a reason. Well, it already looks like a doorway, and that's what we're making. So I'm gonna leave this gap here. I'm just gonna reset the time. And we'll mod in the code and see what happens. So let's go back to the code. Basically, let's copy this in its entirety, the 2 new blocks we made, put it down again. This I'm gonna call hide block. So we're gonna make a hidden doorway. Basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna place a 2 high block inside a wall and have that spawn out to the side with the same 2 blocks height. Now when you alternate between that, you'll go between a 2x2 and a 1x2, basically opening up a doorway for you. And I'll just show that. So we've got the block in, custom icon, bridge, all wood. We'll just keep that everything the same. Now this is going to upgrade to my hidden door. Now if I want to upgrade this to a hidden door, I need to name this block and number it correctly. 7. I need to upgrade this or rename this to hidden door, so the game will recognize that this block needs to turn into that block. Same case here. Leave it as old wood. I build an old wood wall just now. You saw that. So if I do the door out of the same material, it will blend in. If you're making a blue metal roof wall, for instance, turn this door and hidden block into a blue metal roof piece as well, and it will blend in as well. Now this one needs to go back to the hide block, and basically what we have now is still the bridge. This one is a 1x1x1 dimensions because we didn't specify it. This one is a 1 left, 1 up, and 4 deep block. Now what we want for the doorway is that it needs to be 2 up, otherwise we can't go through it. And since the door needs to be, for instance, on our left, I want this block to spawn to, well, 1 block extra to the left as well. So this is now a 2x2x1 block. If I leave this as is, I'm going to alternate between a 1x1, well, a 1 block high and a 2 high and 2 wide. So we're going to have a space of 3 if we alternate between these. To fix that, I'm going to copy this line, put it in here as well, and I'm just going to tell this block to just be 1 to the left and 2 up. Now what we have now is, if we spawn it in, hide block. So this is the 2 high block we made. If I it always shows as a 1 high, but you can't place it in a 1 high space because the game recognizes it as a 2 high block. So I place it here and it just blends in. Now this is still the wooden wall that we placed, but the fun part about this is you just heard a click. This block has now expanded to the left. You can't see it, but it has destroyed the other blocks and taken its place. Now if I click it again, this is what happens. We now have a hidden doorway inside our wall. So that's pretty basic, but a lot of fun to work with. The bridge, 1x1x1, turns into a 1-1-4 block, and the hidden passageway, a 2 high block, so a 1 to the left, 2 up, and 1 deep block, turned into a 2 to the left, 2 up, and a 1 deep block. Now you can also do cubes like a 2 high, 2 wide, and 2 deep. You can turn it into a platform if you like. So you can just play around with the dimensions, but I thought this was the 2 easiest to show you guys, and yeah, I hope you liked it. I'm sorry for my voice being a little bit harsh, but yeah, like I said, dry air. But yeah, I hope you can forgive me about that. If you liked it, please give a like and a subscribe for more modding, and yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, next episode, BFG. Now, for you guys that know what Doom was, this is the BFG. And that bedrock is here for a reason. So I'm just going to give you a small preview of what coding I'm going to show you the next time, how to do this inside the XMLs. Now, normally bedrock can't be destroyed that easily, but with this, there you go. Bye bye bedrock. Just to finish it off. Instantly kills a zombie as well. So yeah, I'm gonna show that in the next episode. Again, if you liked it, leave a like, subscribe for more to see the BFG, for instance, how to make that. And yeah, I'll see you around. Thanks for watching. Bye.